I'll be right. So, my name's Lora, and you probably have the program. I do probably want to say 99% online live sales. I rarely do albums. I totally agree with almost everything that I heard up here earlier part of the day with building those communities and the importance of it, but to be honest, my life does not work in in-home pop-ups. It doesn't work for everybody. So my approach instead has been to take some of those concepts and bring them into a live sale platform. And it's a little complicated and there are a lot of different aspects to learn, but it's successful if you put everything into it. I launched 8 months ago, and maybe my first 2 or 3 months I did not cruise qualify. Now I'm double cruise qualifying plus after 8 months. It is totally possible. Do I work 120 hours a week? Yes. Is that going to be continuous? No. Things are changing, things are evolving, and I'm growing so fast there are learning curves and there are things that change and have to, as Monica said, hiring is my next step. So my group is a community, like full force. I can tell you Susie's son suffered so badly in Houston. I can tell you that Leanne is in the middle of studying for becoming a teacher. I can tell you this about many of my customers. I have 5,000 people. Can I tell you that about every single one? Absolutely not. I can't do that with 5,000 people, but I can take moments and I can create interactions and I can show them that they are important to me, which in turn creates a trust-like situation. I can ask them questions about who they are and I can choose when and who I respond to and I can create this dynamic. So, hands up, how many of you are, I know we have like a wide range here, how many of you are active retailers right now? Okay, and how many are prospectives? Do we have any? I know that, yay! And QBs? Any? Well, I guess same deal, okay. How about just support? How about like husbands or, ooh, a lot, that's awesome. So, how long have you been in the queue? Because, purple?
2 months.
2 months? Oh, okay. And how long have you been a retailer?
A little over a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your plan for how you're going to do your sales? Are you going to do mostly in person or?
We're going to do pop-ups mostly.
Okay, so you're going to do a lot of in person. So that's an example. There's 75 people in this room. Did I take the time to each and every single one of you ask that specific thing? No, I can't. My sales that, I'll be honest, are 3.5 hours would turn into 12 hours if I asked every single one. I would never sleep, and I already sleep very little. But by taking that moment to ask that person what's going on in their life and creating that connection, I've not only shown everybody else in the room that I care for a moment about what's going on, but I have shown that person that I really care about them. And I want not only to ask you to raise your hand, but then I asked you a detail about that. And I do that every single time I'm live. I do that for the first sometimes 20 minutes of my live. And I'll be honest, it is not the environment for everybody. It's not, I couldn't watch my own live sales. I'll be totally honest with you. I do not have that kind of time. But I do attract a certain audience that cares about that and appreciates that. And that audience is also the audience that you see in the pop-ups who care about what your kids' names are and care about those styling opportunities. So what I've tried to do is take that in-home pop-up relationship building and bring it into a live sale. So it works for my life. So, the number one thing is interaction and engagement. And by engagement, I do, yes, Facebook engagement numbers matter, but that is not the same kind of engagement. It's those opportunities to have conversations and to discuss, and that's the key to community building. So, what I have now created, if you come into my group, actually I'll give you an example. So last night I put a post up. I came in from Baltimore yesterday, and I put up a post in my group of me sitting at the desk in the hotel room upstairs with a piece of paper. My group already knew I was coming here. I've told them about it. But I said, you know what, I'm speaking tomorrow about community building in online communities. I have plenty of things I have thought of. I wrote notes on the plane. I lost those notes. Let's do this again. But I'm not the only one in this group. There are 5,000 people in this group. What does that mean to you? You guys, my eyes were puffy this morning because I just had this outpouring. And over and over and over, I was hearing these moments of, we go into other groups and we go into other lives and we go into album sales and nobody cares who we are. Nobody has these conversations with us. Nobody takes the time to jump off a camera and try on a Carly because they're worried about how, I don't know how it's gonna fit. Because I do that. I do a Carly sale and my first 20 minutes is chit-chatting and then I spend 5 minutes going off a camera and showing them that here's the size chart. I'm a 12-14, everybody knows what size I am. I talk about it a lot. I'm a 12-14, on the chart I can wear a medium, but I'm gonna hop off right now and I'm gonna go show you. And I try every single one on, every single size, and I show them. I show them how to do the flowers, I show them how to do all those things. But it's a constant engagement. So when Susie says, I don't know if that's gonna work with me, I'll say, well, what do you need to know? How's that gonna help? And I jump off camera and I change and I come back on and I spend the extra time between every piece of clothing and every bit of fabric and I talk to them about how it feels. I say, there's this hilarious thing in my group. So there's a blend of 48, 48, 4. It's 48 poly, 48 rayon, 4% spandex. My group thinks it's hilarious. I pick something up and I'm like 48, 48, 4. And they're like, I get half a dozen hike because it sounds like a football play. That's the thing in my group. Like now my group can, because it's their favorite fabric because I've talked about it so much, but they recognize when I pick it up and sometimes I'll see hike before I say 48, 48, 4. And they care that I spend the time to do that every single time. And yes, is it more time consuming? Absolutely. Do I show less pieces? Absolutely. But you know what? The sales on those are tenfold because they understand it. And they trust me and they know that I'm only doing this to try and make sure that they're the most comfortable. And when I put that post up last night asking them what they thought over and over and over again, we trust you, we know you, you've shown us 10 times over that we're important to you and that you care about us and that how we feel about these things and how they fit are important to you and you want us to feel good. So it's that creating a community. And I asked for specific details, of course, because we want to engage. Every time they responded, I responded back, and I asked them even more, and I asked them for specific details. And they pointed out my flaws. I'll be honest, my live sales are long, they are messy, they are disorganized. Could you watch them in replay? Nope. I don't even have to put a 24-hour rule up. I don't even have to delete it because nobody is going to spend 3.5 hours to watch me chatter with Susie about her son and talk about rayon. But when they're there and they're engaged, you know what they told me? They said they come in all the time to see me and to talk to me and to talk with their friends because it truly is a community. And what happens when they're there? They invite their friend to come hang out because this girl's hilarious. She loses her pen every 5 seconds. How can she do that? She's sitting on a couch. How does she lose her Sharpie that many times? She's a bucket full of them. How does she hold up a piece of clothing and get distracted 7 times and then forget to give the size and the number? Because I'm more interested in them and how happy they are and what that fit is for them. I don't care about making the sale, and they know that. And you know what that means? They want to support me tenfold. They want to invite their friend. They want, when they're looking for a piece, to come and ask me first. So now I have this environment where people enjoy being there. They come to hang out, and what ends up happening? They see items, they buy them, they refer me. They come to me to do their Christmas shopping months ahead of time because they know all of these boxes will come in and eventually they'll find those pieces. And they don't want to wait till the last minute. They'd rather do it with me and make sure that they do it with me. But I'll tell you what, it is time consuming. Consistency is #1 because if you have a relationship with somebody, a best friend, a buddy, a confidant, what's the most important thing? That they're there all the time, right? And I am there 5, 6 days a week. I take one day off usually from live sales, but that doesn't mean I'm not working. So there's an absolute commitment. And have my sales been consistently big where I have people in all the time? No way. No way. I have done sales that had 3 people in them over and over again. I've done sales where I sold 1 thing. It happens. But once you start to establish that consistency and people know that they're coming into an environment where they're important and you're going to go out of your way to try on clothes or explain fabric or show them different ways to wear things, or show Kathy that even though she loves to buy 2X and 3X Harleys, she'd really look better in an extra large. That matters to them, so they're going to keep coming back. So I want to just, because I'm probably even close to time. Oh, maybe not too bad. So one of the things that really, really stuck out to me this year was I came back from convention in July, was it? And at that point in time, I had, I think, 4 or 5 months cruise qualified. And I got a post from one of my customers. She posted on my page and she said, Lora, okay, I'm gonna get teary because I get that emotional. I'm a divergent. I have many colors, very equally distributed, but I'm slowly turning more orange, but other things pop out. So Leanne posted on my page, Lora, what do we need to do to get you there? What are you talking about? She's like, I've been seeing all these other consultants post over and over again, their pictures with their leis on, and you don't have that. And she literally said, what do we need to do to help you get there? A customer wrote that on my page. And you know what? Dozens and dozens of responses. Yeah, Laura, what do we need to do? Just tell us, just tell us. And so I went live, bawling my eyes out because it meant so much. And I said, you guys, you don't even know. You're already getting me there. I have 4 or 5 months qualified. And they're like, we had no idea you even wanted to do it. And then I start seeing all these sad cry faces from them, and they're saying, we didn't know you wanted to do that, or those were even your goals, because you don't talk about your goals, you talk about us. And you talk about what's going on in the world, and you care about catching up, and you share about what's going on with your daughter that day, but you don't talk about your business goals. You don't sit there and tell us, it's the end of the month, I need to sell 30 more pieces. We're not an auction house to you. And no, you're not. You're people to me. And that, to me, is the biggest difference in creating an online community which can support the sales. Yes, the sales matter, but they come from building those relationships. Because if you don't, what's going to happen? You can get 10,000 people in your group by doing 1 million loops, or doing awesome giveaways, or buying thousands of dollars in Facebook ads, but in the end, what's going to create those people wanting to come back and shop you all the time? It's either going to be in face with them over and over and over again at dozens of pop-ups and visits to your home, or it's going to be creating a real relationship where they matter and they see that you're a real person too.